Hello, Dr. Groves and classmates. This is Nicole Dalton, and this is my MPA 530 week number 7 multimedia discussion board. And in this week's discussion board, I will be reviewing non-tax revenue sources. So the city that I've been working on since the beginning of this course is the city of Rancho Cucamonga. So I'll be covering their top non-tax revenue sources. But some of the general revenue sources that other cities will use are user fees, which comes from sales or licenses for individuals to engage in that would otherwise be restricted. So this could be things such as having a business license or building permits for new construction or building improvements. Without permits, then technically it would be illegal to do those projects. The next is user charges. So this could be based on voluntary services that the government agency provides. So for me, this could be things like community services department, including daycare, sports, and entertainment. And the last is fiscal monopoly. So that could be the government agencies receive sales from a private good or service, such as government operated utilities and state lotteries. So with that, I will get into specifically what is the top non-tax revenue sources for the city of Rancho Cucamonga. So the two largest non-tax revenue generated sources for the city of Rancho Cucamonga are charges for services at $7.6 million and license and permits, which is $4.64 million. Please ignore the big blue section. That is tax generated revenues for the city of Rancho Cucamonga and not what we are covering in this discussion board, but you can see compared to the smaller two slices, which is charges for services and license and permits, and you can see how that is compared to our tax-generated services. Here I broke down the top non-tax revenue generated sources, and under charges for services was recreation fees at $1.88 million, and then plan check fees at $1.29 million. The next category that ranked high in the non-tax revenue sources was license and permits, and under that was business licenses at $2.67 million and then building permits at $1.5 million. In my opinion, I believe the city of Rancho Cucamonga relies on these non-tax revenue generated sources because we don't have a utility service like a water district. We outsource that all to the Cucamonga Valley Water District, which could potentially be a huge revenue generating source if it was a utility service provided by the city of Rancho Cucamonga, but it is not. But I don't think I would recommend changing anything for the city of Rancho Cucamonga because honestly, a lot of the generated revenue sources that we're getting our funding from are things that are consistent, like business licenses. People have to renew those every year. Also, even work permits. I think those are something that will be consistent, so they can rely heavily on those revenue sources. The thing that did surprise me the most was honestly the recreation charges that were done in 2020, because this was a 2020 budget that I got this funding from, and that was $1.88 million. And I honestly thought that was surprising because that was during COVID when a lot of services and offerings weren't available to the city. So I wouldn't recommend that Rancho changes anything at this point. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you all have a great weekend and good luck on finals.